Do
We're on the
something
Casa
there.
now.
Yeah. Somebody forgot about that. It's all good.
I forgot the button. I was on the button. I'm having a terrible day. I'm homesick.
Like
Don't
he
make fun of
said,
my.
he always messes something up. You figure this man is the professor. He's been doing these things for longer than me. Always botches something.
Hey, two things. Number one, I've been doing these things longer than half these audience has been alive. I mean, for the record, I mean, I'm not going to front about that because a lot of these guys are 20 and under. Number two, my kid's homesick, and he brought it home. So if his mother's watching, a curse on your house for this. Anyway, not that it matters anyway because her house is cursed anyway because she's there. But that's okay. Anyway, we'll just move right along. Just keep on going. Anyway,
Moving right along.
move right along. That's yeah. And on this move right along again, if you missed the top of the show, shame on you, but we are doing this today in tribute to both Jim Henson and our friend Ashley Mazzaro, who both at various times throughout history on this day were taken far too soon. So
Yeah, it still gets to me that it's been now 32 years since Jim left us. And,
right,
like I put in my Instagram post, it just seems to get harder and harder with each passing year. Because with each passing year, the legacy becomes more and more evident of what he left behind as those
yeah.
characters are introduced to newer, younger generations.
Yeah. One would have hoped with Disney inheriting the legacy that it would have been a better situation. It hasn't been, but it's one of those. A lot of people, at least on the fringe, and I considered myself on the Muppet fringe prior to this guy. There is no choice but not Muppet fringe. You're either Muppet or you're not with this guy, for the record.
They asked it in
That's not a bad thing.
2011. They asked it in
Yeah.
2011. Are you a man or are you a Muppet?
And there is no doubt, after having lived with this man since 2011 off and on, much like these guys, Muppet for life, is what it is. So I had hoped, and again, the people around the fringe, what I was trying to say, people on the fringe definitely get introduced to the Muppets through the Disney legacy stuff. You talk about Muppet Christmas Carol, you talk about the attractions at Disney parks. God, one of my chief reasons ever for going to DCA was Muppet Vision 3D, which is no longer a thing. You have to go to Florida to see that thing. I think it's even closed in Florida now. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's closed back there now too. The one thing they're still keeping preserved in Florida, or two things: the original Tower of Terror, because the original one was back there, for the record, and the Country Bears are still active. So please keep it open until we get this man back there. Please, Disney parks, do not dick this man out of his destiny, please. But,
or my density.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and hit Universal too, because I actually think they have a decent DeLorean back there too. The 8 car's here, obviously, but I think I'm going to back there. Anyway, off the weeds we go. I had hoped, and again, people that were on the fringe were introduced because of Disney's partaking. Like I said, the attractions, the movies. There's a definite divide on the Walter era of Muppets. Let's not even front. I tended to like them. I can see why other hardcore Muppet purists did not. Second one especially, Muppets Most Wanted was kind of just there for me. But again, I'm not a purist in the sense that JJ is. But I did enjoy going to see Muppet Vision. I do enjoy. I'm grateful the other stuff is on YouTube, like when the special at Disney World with Charles Grodin, which is still one of the funniest damn things of all time to this day. And it has Mickey as the boss, which I think is hysterical. He's animated form. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. Go make yourselves watch it. The Muppets at Disney World. It's is that the actual title? I forgot.
I want to say it's the Muppets at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, it's basically the premise is they're going on vacation in Kermit's home area of a swamp, and Disney World's like right across the swamp.
Yeah, like the back of the other end of the swamp, like the border for Disney World. The swamp is right on the other side.
And Kermit, of course, in his usual, okay, just go along with it. Why not?
Well, he's trying to show his friends where he grew up, where he came from, and they're like, well, screw that. I want to go to Disney World. Like, how can you bring me to Disney? How can you bring me to the border of Disney World and you're not going to let me go to Disney World?
Yeah, that's like going to SummerSlam Access and staying on their. Oh wait, somebody already did that. Anyway, we did that. CC's here, Pop is here, and of course Fraggle Rock. You know, you can't forget Fraggle Rock. Yes, absolutely. We the first time I ever saw actually the only time I've seen anything with the Fraggles in its entirety, even living with this man as long as I have and I did, was the Christmas special at Fozzie's mom's house. I haven't seen the full episode of Fraggle Rock to this day, despite my niece trying to get me to watch it, despite JJ trying to get me to watch it. And it's not that I did to choose to. It's just one of those I just didn't yet. It's on the list.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
Fraggle
right up
Rock's
there with
awesome.
Gotham.
Hey, it's still on the list. It just hasn't been checked off yet. But that Christmas special in particular was really cool. You had everybody there. The Muppets were there. The Sesame Street Gang was there. The Fraggles were there. Jim was on that special. Doc and Sprocket were on that special. It was just such a cool, everybody came together. And I think even in 1987,
87, 88, yeah.
like, I don't think anybody knew how sick Jim was at that point. But it seemed like they were all coming together and all doing their thing as a family. Like it was the only time they were really going to get to do it after that, because Jim was gone like 2.5 years later. So It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I enjoy that. So, and of course, Ashley, again, it's Mental Health Awareness Month in May. I can't stress enough how important that stuff is. And you guys have heard me talk about it ad nauseum during the pandemic and even before that. So, if you know somebody's in distress, even if it's going to cause them more distress, reach out and give them a damn hug. For the love of God, do it.
Definitely.
And yes, I had no doubt of that, Pop. I've heard the stories. Yes. I can imagine. And yes, JJ was Little Tyke. Fraggle Rock was around when JJ was Little Tyke. So it was back in it was back then.
Yeah.
A long time ago. In a galaxy far, far away. Southern California.
I was a young warthog.
When he was a young warthog. If you know, you know. If you don't, get on Disney Plus. You're more educated than I am. Lion King, y'all, for real. All right.
But anyways, we're not here to dwell on that and bring it all down. We're here to
Hello, Dwayne.
We're here to answer your guys' questions, wrestling related or otherwise.
That's it.
Whatever you guys want to ask, go ahead and start spewing it out there. I know you had posted on some of your social medias, Facebook and the Twitter over the weekend, asking for questions.
Yes. We did get a couple.
Do we have anything to start with while we wait for people to filter in here?
We did. The one I wanted to bring up first was the one that came in first, and it always seems to be Chris that brings it in first. Our buddy Chris Yuck over on Twitter. He said, pardon me if I'm adjusting these. I'm trying to get these things to stay so I don't have to keep doing this, because these are what I'm wearing to Disneyland on June 6th, so I can do Ask the Dads with this guy, because I don't want to have to try to do this from the freaking hotel or something. I want to be, because I have dinner reservations at 3:10. We're on the air at 4. You do the math, folks. I haul my ass that fast across the resort. It ain't happening. Any word on Dolph Ziggler and even Robert Roode for that matter? They have not been on TV since the NXT belt was reclaimed by Braun Breaker. I could see WWE cutting Roode, but Ziggler has been a mainstay for a long, he emphasizes the word long time. So I don't know about Dolph's WWE career. I know where he's going to be at the end of the month and the first couple days of June.
Yeah,
he's going to be here.
he's been really doing a lot of side projects, if you will. He appeared with Mick Foley earlier this month when he did some of his dates in California. He's got a gig in the beginning of June in Pasadena. Actually, it's at a facility that Cece and I just discovered when we went to Sugarmint this weekend, the Republic of Lucha store there in Pasadena, which is owned by Penta and Ray Phoenix.
Yep.
You know, the Lucha Brothers. So I noticed that that's going to be where the event is going to be with Dolph and his brother, Ryan.
Yep.
So it's going to be, you know, he's doing a lot of the comedy thing. I'm wondering if he's just letting his contract expire, if he's just taking some extended time off like Jericho used to do Fozzy projects, and then maybe
Yes.
he'll come back. But, I'm not really sure what's going on as far as Dolph goes. Rude, man, if they haven't cut Rude already, it's kind of a bummer that he can't be cut in time to be at Slammiversary on June 19th.
Oh my God, right?
Because could you imagine the pop that would get if Bobby Roode showed up at Slammiversary?
It'd be a glorious pop, to be sure, without a doubt.
I like what you did there. I understood that reference.
I'm glad somebody still remembers the glorious.
But I don't really know. I just hope that they're kind of lying in the weeds. They're waiting to get an opportunity. Maybe they're waiting to see what happens with the tag division, since RK Bro and the Usos have been the primary focus of the storyline, and we finally get that unification match, winner takes all, next week. In theory,
on Friday, of course, when we're all going to be out doing other stuff, and we can't actually watch it when it happens. So, I will say this about Dolph's gig. First of all, that Lucha place is amazing. When you and I were out there doing our 88 miles through Haddonfield adventure that we still haven't posted a damn thing about yet, which we're getting to. I kind of meandered into that place by mistake. When I was waiting for you to, we were waiting for you to pop back in, or we were waiting to film. I forget what the situation was, but I kind of like stumbled upon that place. It's right down the street, which is awesome. From the Sugar Mint and the Myers house.
We were actually wandering the streets trying to find a bathroom, if I'm being completely honest, because
I was doing too. I'm glad you said it first.
The coffee shop across the street that we had used the last time we went to Sugarmint, bathroom was out of order.
Right.
So we're like, okay, we need to find somewhere with the bathroom. And then, long story short, after doing all this hunting for a bathroom and finding one, Sugarmint ended up having one that was going to be open for the night. So the long hike was for nothing. Last time they didn't open it. This time they decided to. Of course. But we do this whole walk around, and Cece's the one that originally spotted it. She was like, Republic of Lucha.
Oh, man.
So we were like, okay, let's go across the street, take a look. And we're wandering through, we're looking at all the shirts and stuff, and it was a really good experience. It was a cool little store. I'm definitely considering going down there again.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, if I can stall just long enough to get this up here, they actually have a show that's going to be taking place here in a couple of weeks.
As he looks for that, there's also
here it is
on June 2nd.
Sunday, June 19th, Midsummer at the Republic of Lucha. The Lucha Brothers versus John Hennigan, John Morrison, and Daga. Thunder Rosa and Anakin Rosa versus Sky Blue and Black Danger.
Damn.
Dante Martin versus Bandito. Arez versus Jacob Fatu. And Team Republic of Lucha, Danny Limelight, Little Cholo, and Zocre versus Team Santino Brothers.
Jeez.
And the only person from Team Santino Brothers that I've seen announced so far is Slice Boogie. But the other two are still question marks. But I mean, you got the Lucha Brothers, you got John Morrison, you got Thunder Rosa, you got Bandito, you got Jacob Fatu. For those of us that grew up here in SoCal, we've got Zocre, we've got Lil Cholo.
Zocre, Jesus.
It's a cool little card.
Yeah.
Actually thinking about going to that. It's actually going to be the day after that Pomona show that we were considering going to.
I'll be here doing Slammiversary, but have fun.
Like I said, it's considering, but I mean, clearly they do shows like that on a regular there. So if we miss this one, there's always the next one.
Right. what I was saying when you were looking June 2nd, in addition to Dolph's gig at Republic of Lucha, my buddies, We Are Wasted, are going to be part of a major thing down at the Whiskey. Jeff Hardy is being as a guest vocalist, along with Frankie Kazarian's band. I'm sorry, Frankie, I forget the name of the band. Bear with me, brother. As the band, pretty much. So it's gonna be Frankie and Jeff on stage together. Yes, they're doing an appearance post show. Yes, they're charging through the ass. No, I'm not going to pay for that. I'm gonna go and enjoy myself, have a good time. If I do go to that, Jenna is right now on the fence because she wants to see her boy Dolph because he's gonna be here, but it's very, very likely that Dolph will pop over to the Whiskey because the Whiskey ain't far from Pasadena, really, even on Friday night. So there could be a situation where both take place. So I'm looking forward to going down there and seeing whatever I get to see. That's going to be a crazy week because you figure we've got albeit Dynamite the first, whatever takes place the second and third, there's going to be something going on. Dylan's out of school over those couple of days, and then the Monday I'll be at Disneyland. So it's going to be I'm going to be busy as hell. And I love it.
No sleep for Meacham.
Yes. Well, when is that different from normal? Although I will say this. I'm going to show how messy I am right now in my room right now. But it's not cleared off a lot right now. But I actually did sleep in that bed last night. So for the record, I actually do sleep in that bed sometimes. So, yeah, you guys have two more studios I've ever showed before. Yeah, it's coming together. I had this bookcase. Whoa, green screen issues. Had that bookcase over on this side of me yesterday, and I couldn't pull the damn screen down behind me. I'm like, okay, that ain't gonna work. So it is what it is. As far as Bobby, again, I think Bobby's gone as far as he's going to go. He's never going to be the WWE champion. He's never going to be the Universal champion. He's just not. And that makes me sad because I've always liked Bobby Roode. I always have. Yeah. I thought he was wonderful. He was great with Beer Money. I remember, I watched him and EY win the tag titles at Turning Point live in front of the entire Impact Zone back in 2004. He's been around a while, Bobby Roode. So if this is the end of his WWE run, if it's the end of his career, he has nothing, absolutely zero to prove or be ashamed of. That guy he was one of the first people in this particular era that I really remember he got OVER based on his song First and often Alone. That song got so much hype and press and whatnot that it played it. Aaron and I did the bit where we did the glorious bit. Ciampa and Gargano had a field day with that. Are you sending G the link? Because I'm trying to get it up myself.
Yes.
Right now. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. Big G over here, Big Baller G running, helping run convention booths yesterday over the weekend. I definitely want him to come on and talk about that because he saw a lot of people that are friends of the channel, and I definitely want to give that event and G the press.
G, I've just sent it to you, so it should be coming anytime.
There you go. If Nick, Dolph, whatever, is doing the side stuff and he's letting it run out, again, multiple-time world champion, brought the NXT championship back up from, developmental hell, and I'm not talking about movies. Good on him, man. Hey, we have the super chat. Thank you, Scott, as always, for the $5. We appreciate it, brother.
Yes, thank you.
Well, much appreciated, sir. And all right, let's bring him in to talk about his weekend. Then we'll get to because there's a lot more questions. We kind of went off on the Ziggler thing, but that was all right.
Yeah.
Big Baller G is back on the Jeff Meacham Network and the Casa for I think the first time officially.
Yeah, yes, I think it's the first time he's actually been on my channel. What's up, G?
What's up, guys? What's up?
Taking this shirt, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gotta love that JD's the only one wearing his work shirt doing the corporate thing. I dig it. JJ's doing his job. Me and G not so much. Yeah.
So we saw some of the pictures that you posted on the Insta there, G. Talk about your experience, some of the people that you got to talk to and meet. Saw the Hardy Boys, saw Thunder Rosa.
Yes.
Saw JTG.
Yes.
And then saw his bestie Baker, who he's on a first time basis with, I guess now,
So yeah, Friday night, not Friday night, Saturday night, I met my buddy Daniel and Nick Aldis at Jimmy's Famous Seafood down in Baltimore.
Oh, you suck.
So that's if nobody knows, Jimmy's Famous Seafood obviously is the place where the wrestlers come to when they're in town, Baltimore, even DC area. So that's like the place to be. So got to have dinner with Nick Aldis, which was pretty tight. So Sunday at 10 o'clock, we went to the it's called Benfield Sports Arena, and it's like this big old place. And we started setting up at 10 o'clock, and we helped my buddy set up and stuff like that. Then I had to go back to the hotel, and I had to pick up Nick Aldis in my Jeep. That was pretty tight. So I was like, I'm never like I'm never cleaning that seat again.
What is it with this? What is it with us picking up guys that wear the 10 pounds of gold? Like seriously.
So,
Hey, I can't hate on G. You know, we had Pierce in our van. The only difference is he was currently the champ when we had him, and G had a former champ. But still, you know, just the prestige of that championship in our shotgun seats.
So here, before you get to your other day, here's the question of the day: why did Nick Aldis block me on Twitter? Did we ever find out what happened there?
No, I didn't get to ask him that. No,
you had one job. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead. Carry on.
Anyway, so I helped. The doors opened like they had like the VIP thing where people could come in at 11:30. So I came back. I got back to the arena or to the sports center around like 11:45 with Nick Aldis. Started helping my buddy out, you know, because people were already in there. So I was, me, him, and my other buddy were, you know, collecting the money and stuff like that, taking the pictures with Jay. People were coming up for Jay. I think, honestly, people came more for JTG than Nick Aldis.
Really?
Yes. It was just, I figured, I think, like, people who knew Nick Aldis would go up to him. But then there's like people who really, if you don't watch NWA or if you didn't watch TNA when he was in TNA, then you really wouldn't know him. But JTG, you know, he was in WWE, so people know him from WWE and stuff like that. So, but yeah, JTG got more of a not cult following, but more people came up to JTG for pictures and autographs and stuff like that. Then I took a break.
I'm sure a lot of that had to do with the Shad induction this year too.
I think so, yeah. And I met JTG too at the hotel yesterday morning, and he seemed like a chill guy. He was actually more of a chill guy than Nick was. Nick was like more like serious.
Yeah.
He was like more business. JTG was like more chill and stuff like that. So that was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I took a little break because like I started quieting down a little bit. They didn't really need my help, and so I walked around with one of my other friends, and she's a big wrestling fan. So we first she went to go meet Swoggle, which was pretty cool. She was a big fan of Hornswoggle, and we walked around, and then we waited in line for a good 40 minutes for Britt Baker.
Sounds about right from what I've heard.
Yeah, her line was big, and then right next to our line was Sting. So like people were like we were trying to like figure out whose line was whose, and they're like, yeah, this is Britt's, this is Sting. So I'm like, all right, cool. And then after Britt, she went to go meet the rest of the Dark Order, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and Evil Uno, which was pretty cool. They were pretty cool guys. And then after that, we waited an hour and a half in line for the Hardys.
Wow.
Yeah, they got there at 1 o'clock, and we got in line, I want to say close to like 2. We didn't get up there till like almost like 3:30, 3:40, and like the event was ending at 4 o'clock. Yeah, so yeah, it was a long line, and then after that, she went to go meet Will Hobbs. And then after that, like,
How was Hobbs for them?
Hobbs is cool. He was really chill. He was really cool. He's a cool guy. And then, like, 10 minutes before they were closing, we went to go see Thunder Rosa. So that was pretty cool. So I mean, it was a long, sweaty day. Let's just say that, because everybody was sweating.
Like
literally, everybody was sweating their balls off. Literally,
Sounds like
that's how hot. That's how hot it was in that arena, in that place.
It was pretty hot out here too. I was telling Jay when I got back from Disneyland Friday, like the heat just kind of came out of nowhere. I got off the bus there in Anaheim, and by midday, it was like, what the shit? It was hot. Like it must have been a nationwide thing. It was crazy.
Right. And we also had Dave LaGreca and one of his producers there with us too, which was pretty cool.
How was LaGreca in person?
He was. So we were. He's a pretty cool guy. I met him too. I talked to him a little bit, and he was a pretty funny guy. You know, they're talking about, like, because I listen to Busted Open every day, and this morning they were talking about, like, the LaGreca lean, and, like, so pretty much he got on this chair yesterday and pretty much went limp and, like, kind of just leaned forward and, like, was falling on somebody. It's like this trend that's going on, which was really weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's anything like the Caldwellian lean.
No,
so he was pretty. He's a pretty cool guy, and one of his producers, Gabby, was there too. But yeah.
Gabby's cool.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Buff didn't make it, unfortunately. The flight got canceled, and apparently, so he called my buddy Daniel yesterday.
Yeah, right. Yep.
And, like, it was like 8:00 in the morning or something like that, and he's like, "Yeah, flight got canceled." So they tried to put him on.
He was so bummed.
Oh my god! I heard him on the phone because he had it on speaker, and I was just like, "Man, he was just bummed." I was like, "Damn."
Mark's been really good about not missing bookings. He's been very clear on that. And
he said
he was
in
so
the 33 years he's been doing this, he had never missed an event. I was like, "Yeah, that's gotta suck."
As far as when he was actually booked for, I mean, he's been doing this the same year, like the Jericho and Rob and those guys don't miss shows.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, again, I don't know if he was booked through Delta, but I know a couple people had Delta over the weekend and they had crap. So again, Delta, get on your shit, guys.
Right. So Britt signed my hat, which is pretty
nice.
Dope.
That's awesome.
So, like, I went up there and I was like, because you know how they have, like, their people there helping them out with the money and stuff like that. I was like, so it was $60 for a combo, and I was like, can she sign my hat instead of having a picture? He's like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, oh, awesome. I was like, hell yeah. So
she's cool.
Yeah, combo for Britt was 60. Combo for the Hardys was 150.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad when you think about it. That's basically 75 a pop.
Right. And
then, when you really want to break it down, Jeff is the more popular one. So
right.
And I know that for a fact, Jay, because the event I was talking about before G came on, Jeff's charging 100 and something for his combo. I think Frankie's a little less. So there you go.
And then after the event, like around like 6:30, MCW had their I guess you can consider it a pay-per-view because they were actually live on Fight TV last night for the first time.
Okay, cool.
So that was pretty cool. We saw the Hardys versus OGK last night in the main event, which was pretty cool. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, if you don't know who OGK is, people out there.
Yep.
And, like, so before the match, they made a bet saying if the Hardys won, that OGK would have to do the juke. And the juke has been running wild everywhere on the indie scenes. And so I got to see that, and obviously the Hardys won. And then after the match, they both, you know, they were like, okay, we'll do the juke, whatever. And then they got really into it. And then obviously they got the twist of fate by both Hardys and ended the show like that. And Matt and Jeff after the show, kind of promo thanking everybody from MCW. And if it wasn't for WWE, they wouldn't be where they're at right now and stuff like that. So it was
Wow.
it was a pretty fun show. We got to see Chris Bay in a triple threat against what Speedball Mike Bailey. Does that sound familiar?
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah. And
definitely.
then the bad boy Joey Janela. So we saw
jeez.
Joey's an MCW original, I think. He's been MCW for a while. So
Yes.
it was a fun triple threat match. Crazy spot. Crazy spot.
Were you at this show? Were you at the show where the Hardys reunited with Gangrel? Was it
No, that was the night before.
Oh, okay.
That was the night before. I did see pictures on Instagram or Twitter that
I was wondering. I was like, was it?
So yeah.
That would have been. Dave just kind of pops up where you at least expect him to pop up. Like he showed up out here when he's working for. Oh shit, Gangrel's here. So
right.
Love Gangrel. Anyway,
yeah. All in all, it was a fun time.
Good.
Baltimore Select 5 is happening October 16th, and the tagline this year is "The house always wins." So
fancy.
So we're figuring Malachi Black and the House of Black are gonna show up. And that one, and then
scenario.
we're trying to figure out. My buddy, he's trying to figure out who they want to bring in for this one, so it'll be interesting.
So my question to you, G, is with you being involved with your being involved with, I know SummerSlam is in Nashville, and of course all the things with that. Conrad, you mentioned Jimmy's seafood, and again, forgive me for the name. I apologize.
Yeah.
But Conrad and his team rave about that place. They've had many an event there over the years. And my question to you is, StarCast 5 is now officially going to be a thing the weekend of SummerSlam.
Okay.
Would you make any plans to do that? Or are you strictly sticking with Sled-Fest in October and that's your
I think so. That's StarCast is down in Nashville, isn't it? Is that where they're having it?
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, no, that'd be, I don't know. I don't want to say too much money, but that's just like out of the way for us to do something like that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I just figured, like I said, I know we're all trying to save up for, hopefully, if you all are watching, for WrestleMania next year. But
right. There's a couple of events up in July. There's if I'm correct, there's a it's called Icons of Wrestling that's happening in July that we're trying to. He's got some people. Cool. He's got some people lined up for a couple events in the next couple of months. So we got that working up in like PA and I think New Jersey too. So.
Well, we'll definitely be on the lookout on your socials, my friend. Again, look for Big Baller G. He's on NoDQ.com too, so be on the lookout for him. You never know when he's going to pop on the review. I'll be there this week. So, God, if I can come back, anybody can come back. So, G, thank you for the update on Slugfest. Again, hopefully we can get Bagwell's flight stuff for next time because, man, like I said, he would have been a blast. I know you would have had – I mean, you've met Buff before, but having him part of your event would have been even cooler. So,
yeah.
Thank you, my brother. It was good to see you, and we'll definitely be in touch soon.
All right, take it easy.
Be safe, brother. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I want to make sure I brought G in because that was pretty cool. You got to see all those people. And like I said, I'm pretty sure him and Brett are on a first-name basis now.
You're right. Good Lord. I didn't recognize her at first going through his photos because she wasn't wearing anything Pittsburgh.
She was right? Yeah, the one day.
So I was like, is that actually Britt? She's not wearing pins. Probably because the pins got eliminated, but.
Yeah, New York Rangers. Hey, you know what? It went to Game 7, and it was a hell of a Game 7.
That's one of the things my dad brought up here in the comments.
I saw that. Yeah, I was going to bring it up,
over the weekend,
Yeah, first time in history that's been that many Game 7s. And not only that, Dallas had 2 Game 7s yesterday because the Mavericks also had a Game 7. So our girl Demi would have been busy had they both been in Texas.
No one cares about the Mavericks, though.
Oh, it's funny because it's true. Anyway.
The Stanley Cup Finals, we're moving through the playoffs there, getting ready for the next round. Believe it or not, I still have 4 of my bracket picks are still in the fight.
That's pretty good because there's only 8 teams left, dude. You got a good chance at going having somebody
the Lightning made it through. The Blues made it through. The Hurricanes made it through, and the Flames made it through.
So just
Unfortunately,
so we're
the
clear,
other four I picked didn't go on.
so St. Louis made it through. That means Minnesota lost, right?
Yeah, I believe that would be
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah.
And it might be why
Somebody picked
Mikey isn't
against
around to try and chat it up here in the comment box because the Wild went down.
Familia and messed up. Oh shit.
Yeah. Mikey
But you
do
know
what
what?
Mikey do. He tried to bandwagon and he ended up paying the price for it. Dory, no disrespect. I know how
No,
much
none.
you love the Wild. I'm talking mess about your roommate who
As he
is a
deserves. Damn him.
Ducks fan since they won the cup, yet goes to Kings games wearing Kings gear instead of wearing his Ducks gear when the
Since they
Kings
won
play
the
the
cup.
Ducks, and then goes to a game in Nashville where the Kings aren't even playing wearing Kings gear instead of repping his actual Duck team. I'm talking about that guy. So,
And yes, Mikey, we know you're not watching. And you'll watch on demand later and you'll get upset.
but we still
Next
love
time,
you.
stick with Amelia. We love you and we always will, but the fact that I'm voluntarily offering to wear Ducks gear at the end of this month, should the goals be met, and you can't even stick with the team for more than half a decade, oofa, no bueno, no bueno. Anyway, Josh, our buddy Josh, who by the way wrote a tremendous column jumping off
Yes.
the. Oh, there he is. Mikey's here. Good for Mikey. Okay, go rewind about 10 minutes and then come back to us. Anyway,
Mikey must have his ears had to have been burning because we just
quite
got
so.
done, Mikey. If you're just joining us, we just got done running you down because the Wild was eliminated. So you want to rewind back and hear what we have to say. And before you go trying to get us in trouble with Dory, we told Dory we're not trash talking her.
No.
We have nothing but respect for her and her love of the Wild.
Yes.
But because you picked the Wild over the Blues, picking it over family. So don't go trying to get us into hot trouble with Dory.
Yeah. Josh, our buddy Josh Mansfield, who wrote a tremendous column about the GOAT status of Chris Jericho based on our discussion on the Mike Night.
If you have not read it yet, go to nodq.com, click on that article, read it, share it. Like Jeff said, it was a topic that I brought up on Open Mic Night after Backlash. So if you want to go back to that and check it out and check out our conversation about it, please do. But it was about the whole topic, Kurt Angle saying that Chris Jericho has surpassed Shawn Michaels in GOAT status. And we gave our thoughts about it. Josh was chiming in very heavily in the comments section about how he disagrees. But we inspired him enough to go back, watch some classic Jericho matches, WCW, ECW, AEW, WWE,
New Japan.
and then he wrote a comprehensive, beautiful piece, like I said, for nodq.com. Go there, click the link, read it. And while we didn't completely change his mind, we did convince Josh to give Jericho more credit than he was trying to give him.
And again, he asked me, he's like, what do I do here? Oh, he has Twitter. What do I do here? I'm like, I got you. Give me a few minutes. I went on JJ. He didn't disclose this. I don't want to totally bust his balls here. I went through and found every available singles match I could find of Jericho's that's not on the network. Just singles, not tagged or anything, like he said in his article. I've managed to find everything of his in AEW or New Japan that I remember being talked about in the media, as well as stuff I never even knew existed. I didn't realize Jericho had wrestled Okada, but he did. So I gave him the hey, Kings hit the golf course the same time Minnesota did. And okay, now you done pissed me off. All right. Fucking hell. Look at my bloodshot, sick eyes, Caldwell. All right. Here, wait. I'll do the Caldwell and lean for your ass. Here, wait. Oh, let me hold. There we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, no, wait. Hang on. All right. Here we go. You hopped on a bandwagon 10 years ago. Then you hopped on another bandwagon because you moved in with Dory. And again, I'm not shitting on Dory because that was Dory. Dory I respect because she stuck with Minnesota. You've done so much bandwagon hopping. You honestly just need to freaking just buy yourself a band amp at this point to make sure you can carry all your baggage with your ass. Okay?
You know what? I'm gonna go you one.
Snippy.
I'm gonna go you one better. I'm gonna go you one better. Okay. And Mikey, you know I love you. You know you're my brother from another mother. But you want to try and pull that card. You want to try and get testicle about it. The Wild have been playing golf since Thursday.
Yep.
They only went 6 games.
Yep.
The Kings at least took it to Game 7 and lost yesterday. So
and where's your original team?
Team's been gone since Thursday.
And where's your original team? Captain
they didn't
list
even
on
make
the golf course.
Playoffs.
That's right.
They couldn't
Captain
even
list
get
on the
to the
golf
playoffs
course.
for Getsy.
Yep. And yes,
Nor
Pittsburgh
could the
lost last night,
Sharks
which
for
upset
Merlot.
me on those. Yep.
At least the Kings got to the first round and went to 7.
Yeah, and it was a hard-fought battle to the bitter end 7 games. Yeah, we got spanked twice. Hey, Oilers got spanked at least once or twice too. So it was, okay. All right.
If you're going to bash
Go
me,
ahead.
at least let me defend myself.
Go ahead.
It's all in good fun. I did not turn my back on the family. I have my opinion just as much as everybody else does in this country, okay? I was rooting for the Kings just as much as I was rooting for the Wild, as much as I was rooting for the Tampa Bay Lightning to do the three-peat, okay? That is my reason why I never said the Kings are not going to win the Stanley Cup, okay? If they would have done it, good up to them too. I am not against your team like you are against mine.
I know.
Okay.
I'm not against Minnesota. Hey,
Okay,
hold up there, Skippy.
Number one, Mr. Producer Man, can you post up Joe's comment?
Sure I can.
And number 2, I'm not anti your team.
Nor am I. Well, anti Minnesota, not at all.
I'm
if
not
you can stick to a team, I can tell you which one I'm
team.
anti.
You forget, Mikey, I am a hockey fan first, a Kings fan second.
Which I am not.
So
this
why
time of year is my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
It is the best of the best. May the best man win. We were not those men. We got eliminated in 7. The Wild got eliminated in 6. The Sharks and the Ducks and the Golden Knights didn't even make it to the playoffs.
And I totally agree with all those statements.
So at the end of the day, if you want to talk mess, we got further than you did.
Where are the
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was just saying that to just go on with it. Okay.
Do this.
You know what? You know
right, okay.
you know that I would never disrespect your team like that. I don't play that game. Okay. Thank you. Dory just said she would, but I don't do that. Okay. It's all in.
And like we said at the top of this discussion, we're not disrespecting Dory, nor are we disrespecting the Minnesota Wild as a franchise. Hey, good on them. The Stars done dicked y'all by leaving in the first place to go play in a hotter territory. That's on the franchise's bad of North Stars, not the Minnesota Wild for giving hockey back to Minnesota. I applaud Minnesota. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that JJ now owns a Minnesota Wild jersey of some sort, if I'm not mistaken, that you graciously purchased for him with Dory's help, if I'm not mistaken. Now, before you interject, let me say this. I am not disrespecting teams. I'm not disrespecting anybody except you, because you chose not against Tampa Bay because you didn't, not against Los Angeles because you didn't, but because you rooted for Minnesota, which you said you did, against St. Louis. Now, JJ, what part of the country is your family originally from?
That would be Missouri.
Missouri. And what city is in Missouri primarily and hockey-wise?
That would be St. Louis.
That'd be St. Louis. Okay, cool. So, yes, you did root against the Kings, which I'm grateful for. Yes, you didn't root against Pop's team currently, Tampa, which I'm grateful for. I'm sure JJ and Jerry are grateful for. But you rooted against hometown origin city, which JJ has a problem with, but is not being a vocal asshole about it like I am. Okay?
I
Number
said
one.
my
Number
piece.
two.
Jeff
Again,
is acting like drunk Jeff.
Now, it's because
He's fired up.
Because I'm sick, Jeff, and I've had literally 10 spam calls in 2 hours today from Amazon for my iPhone order. No, motherfuckers. You're not Amazon. Leave me alone. Let my sick kids sleep. You chose
Wait. Dylan's not feeling good?
Dylan
Is Dylan okay?
Home with Dylan he's got a cough and he's blowing his nose more often than your average Pinocchio knockoff. He's fine. He's just got a little bit of the teenage sniffles. Focus. Okay. He's fine. Trust me. If he was worse off than that, I had told you before I went on my rant. Since he's not, I didn't. I didn't make it about anybody's team or anybody's anything except you choosing against Williams' origin territory. Now, you made it against Kings. Where are the Kings now? On the golf course. That's what you said. I'll even put it up again just to make sure everybody sees it. So I'm not being a total dickhead about it.
I mean, it's all you're taking this way too harsh on me, man.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
You don't need to when we all jab at each other anyway. Okay? You got farther than my current pick. Good for you. Okay? It's not the end of the world for me. I'm not ticked off about it. I'm not upset about it. It's no big thing. Next season, again, I'm going to go back to my other team. If the Wild get in and the Ducks don't again, it's not going to be the end of the world. It was just my pick at the time. That's all it is. I'm not a true fan of darn near any team because I haven't followed them all. I admit that wholeheartedly. But I don't see why my opinion is so upsetting when it's my opinion. It's not like you got to put a gun to my head and say you're gonna disown me because of my choices.
I'm not okay. I'm okay. I explained why I'm upset. You are taking it personal because you made it personal in the first place.
No, come on. I don't make things personal.
No. I let you speak. Now you let me speak. Thank you. You attacked the team. I did not. I called you out on your bandwagon hopping, not your team. I did not attack Minnesota. The only team that you actively have ever rooted for that I know of, and again, I don't know everything, despite people think I do, is the Ducks. Will never like them, can never like them, no matter how much tolerance JJ's tried to preach into my system in the last 10 years, or 15 years, excuse me. All I was trying to get you to understand was, yes, you didn't root against Tampa Bay. You were cheering for Tampa Bay, which is Jerry's current team, and my team as well. My whole thing is this. JJ is very much a different fan than me in that he roots for the sport. Whereas I root for my teams first and then the sport secondary. So when you put comments like this up, it does get to my heart and my head personally, because as a matter of fact, there's nothing in my life besides the actual blood people in this house. Actually, in this house right now, nobody, because my parents are out of town and my brother is across the way, and I was a Kings fan before he was born. So there's nothing in my life except my parents and the people in my family that came before them or around the same time as them that have been as much a part of me as the Kings. Not professional wrestling, not this podcast, not Star Trek, not Back to the Future, nothing. So all I'm asking you to do, rather than take it personally and think I'm getting upset at you because you made it personal, is just think about the choices you make before you type it out. I'm not saying it's just you. I'm saying that everybody needs to be a lot better about how they approach comments and about putting things on social media. Now, there's a gentleman over here somewhere below the screen that has been blocked 3 different times today because he chose to be haha and cute about something I chose to say on the show a few weeks ago about having a meeting down in Hollywood. I explained on the air that I was meeting somebody in Hollywood and I had to get going that day, but I explained in the subsequent episode that my journey to Hollywood was simply to meet a friend, and that's all it was. I just didn't want to put my friend's business out on blast. So I do take things more personally than others. I am a very emotional person. I am a very hard on my sleeve person. And all I was saying is, I was completely giving you shit, as was JJ about it.
And so was I.
Well, hang on. The fact that you chose to root for your current roommate's team over your, for lack of a better term, adopted father's hometown team. That's all I was giving you crap for. I wasn't shitting on the actual team itself. You chose shit on the team. That's all I was trying to say.
And you come on. You know I don't intentionally do things. Yes, I make mistakes, but I mean, come on. You don't think I wake up in the morning and I try and tick you off? Come on, bro. I don't do that garbage. You know that.
That's not what I said at all, but okay.
Well, that's what it's kind of sounding like now, okay? I mean, I'm not trying to piss you off in any way, shape, or form. I never do that to anybody whom I respect. So to say that I'm personally attacking the Kings or you as a Kings fan, that is not true, okay? I just said that just because that's what it felt like. One team's on the course, guess what? Another team is with them. That does not mean anything of malice. That is what I'm believing as a fact. All right. If I've offended you, I'm sorry. Okay. I do that. I screw up. I say the wrong things at the wrong time. Okay. We're brothers. We do this all the time. Every hockey season, no matter what, we tick each other off with our teams. We go through the off season, and when the season kicks right back up again, we're going to do it again. Okay. Right. You know?
Yep.
I mean, come on.
Yep.
Do you really think I'd be that stupid to piss you off, especially on your channel with everybody watching? Come on now. No, I would not do that. If I'm doing it for entertainment purposes, absolutely. If people are looking at this and laughing at us, my job is done. But I am not
laughing. Okay. JJ is sitting there off screen getting more and more furious at each passing second. So I'm going to end this conversation because we went way off the rails. He's even apologizing to the people in the chat room, and I agree with him. It went way off the rails, and I allowed it to get there. It's my channel. It's my responsibility. It's my fault. So I apologize to the viewers out there, and I'm going to bid Mikey farewell for now because we need to get on with the show, and I have questions that we need to answer. The whole point of the show is to ask the dads, not have one of the dads chew on one of their brothers. And that was, I let it to happen. So it is what it is. I apologize as well. Very good. We'll talk off air, brother. I promise. You're good. Everything's fine.
All right.
All right. Very good. Talk to you soon. I actually, here, I'll leave you in the chat room. We'll just take you off screen. I don't know how long ago you sent that, so I'm sorry. But yeah. Okay. Let's get to Josh's question now that I've completely derailed everything. And again, rightfully, unlawfully so. Josh was very cool about taking what I was trying to say before I got off the rail, and he left, so whatever. Off the rails was when Josh put out on Twitter that we were going to he was going to do the research. He asked for help. What should I watch? What should I watch? So I sent him a list. I found everything except a couple of matches that I just couldn't find either proper commentary for, just the link was bad or whatever it was. But he actually went over this weekend and watched everything I sent him, at least one match with each individual person I sent him. So he was dedicated as a muckerfather to get this column written the way it was supposed to be written. And he asked us flat out, who is our subjective Mount Rushmore and who is our person that we qualify as the GOAT?
The Mount Rushmore question is always tough for me because what do you use for your basis of Mount Rushmore? You talking about the best wrestler? You talking about the best promo? You talking about who drew the most money? Who is just your personal favorite? The Mount Rushmore question is always going to be very, very subjective, more
As he said
so
there,
than
yes.
just about any other topic.
Yep.
But when I think about Mount Rushmore, I think about our forefathers. I don't think about the modern. So I think
Okay.
about those that came before us.
Right.
Okay. Because that's essentially what Mount Rushmore is. You think
Yes.
about when it was created, when it was dedicated. It was a tribute, a dedication to all the presidents that came prior to the current. Okay.
Right.
I started watching in 1998.
Okay.
So my philosophy is it's going to be people that came before me. Okay. So I'm going Bruno Sammartino,
Right.
Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair,
What's that fourth one that's a bitch?
Sting.
Woo! I like Sting. It's a good take. I dig that.
Honestly, I'm going back and forth between Steen and Steamboat. And honestly,
okay.
I don't think either one is a bad answer. But when I
No.
think about the legacy, the fact that Steen is out there every week still with Darby Allin,
True.
so that's going to be my four based off of what I'm looking at, the forefathers. Now, people are going to sit there and be like, what about Undertaker? What about Austin? What about Rock? What about Cena? They all came, granted, Undertaker debuted in 90. I started watching in 98, but let's be real. Taker's best years came after I started watching.
Definitely. As much of a mystique as he had prior to 98, it grew by leaps and bounds during the ministry
era of Austin
so.
began in March of 98 when he got that first title. You can argue the year prior at Mania, but the era, it was the Attitude Era when he dethroned Shawn.
Yes.
Rocky's rise came after. Cena definitely came after.
Yes.
Angle, Jericho, even Michaels. You can argue that Michaels had a solid career pre me coming in, but again, some will argue that Michaels' second run was better than his first.
I was going to say, if you ask Shawn now, you know, he calls his first run like, you know, he was just kind of there. Yeah, he did great things. He had a lot of accomplishments, but he really wasn't present.
So Sammartino, Hogan, Flair, Steen. That's going to be my Mount Rushmore.
And who's your GOAT? Who's your guy? Or gal, for that matter, if you want to throw that out there.
My guy is the guy we're going to dive into extensively on Saturday, Ric Flair.
Yes, and we are going to talk about Nate. Again.
Yes. So let me go back up here. Dwayne. We will get into that on Saturday on Open Mic Night. Open Mic Night is being bumped a day because my daughter is having a performance at school on Friday night. Afterwards, we're going to do a little post-show dinner. Jeff will be here with his boy, the house. My girlfriend will be up here, the whole nine. So we're going to do Open Mic Night the following night to allow for all that family activity. And that is one of, if not the main thing, we're going to be getting into on that show. So we'll get deeper into that there. But Ric Flair, I mean, it's hard to argue Ric Flair in my mind as the GOAT.
Right. Friday is one of those rare days where the actual, almost, I say 90% of the original Casa California, still California-based familia is actually going to be together. So we running with it, y'all. In fact, we're all going to get together. It's going to be cool. Yeah, it's very hard to argue with Flair. I mean, you talk about 1-1A. JR talked about it himself. You know, Flair and Michaels. I got to see what was supposed to be Flair's last match. And even with his TNA run, I still consider it his last match because he even said TNA was strictly because he felt WWE wasn't utilizing him and he needed the money. And I granted that. We'll talk about what's coming up in July on Saturday. Mount Rushmore, I mean, I like your approach. I think that is the way to go. I've always subscribed to the philosophy my own self of the different pillars of the era. So when I go off that, I go, and I'll have a reason for why I don't include somebody else here in just a moment. But when you figure that wrestling, and they've said it so many times on different shows here recently, and even all these years now, when people say wrestling, the first thing the majority of the world thinks of is WWE. And that's just and that's just the way it's going to be until somebody pulls off WCW's stuff and lasts longer than WCW. That's just the way it's going to be. So for me, the Mount Rushmore is Bruno, Hogan, Austin, Cena. But the greatest of all time is Ric Flair. And I know how can he not be? Because Mount Rushmore was designed to pay tribute to, at the time, the 4 presidents that the people in charge of commissioning Mount Rushmore felt deserved recognition. When you're talking about a guy that is on another level, Flair was on another level because not only could he do the company carrying stuff that those 4 guys did, he also could wrestle a blue streak around all those guys. Yes, even Bruno.
I look at it like this, and this is another part of what made me pick the people that I picked. I figure before my time, Bruno and Hogan really defined the WWF.
True.
And then Flair and Steen defined Crockett/WCW.
Very true.
So in confines of like a legitimate Mount Rushmore, and I'm not trying to get political here, politics are a work, wrestling is legit. But it would be like having 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats on Mount Rushmore.
Right.
2 WWF, 2 WCW.
Right. And again, he even said it. Who is your subjective Mount Rushmore? Because there is no objective answer to either of these questions. Nobody has the authority over anybody else to go, well, these are the 4 best of all time.
Yeah.
Or this person's the greatest of all time, because that's what being a fan is all about. That's what being a wrestling fan, a hockey fan, a baseball fan. If you're a fan of politics, good for you. Who's the best president of all time? That's your opinion. Fandom is about opinions, and fandom is about your choices, and everything's subjective. But that's where that's it. You and I have 2 completely different philosophies. I didn't even think about the fact that, and if you want to go even further back into the history of, Crockett, you go into the NWA, you could talk about Harley, you talk about Jack Briscoe, you could talk about Dusty, you could talk about the Funks, you go back to WWF, you could talk about Backlund, you could talk about Pedro, all these people. There's so many people that, despite the promo Vince McMahon cut about building the business by himself, there's so many people that, were the reason that he and his father before him, got to where they are now, which honestly, if we're talking about GOAT as far as wrestling promoters or wrestling owners or whatever, I defy anybody to put somebody above Vince McMahon, the McMahon family. For me, that's just an easy answer.
When it comes to promoters, it's Crockett and McMahon neck and neck with Bischoff like right there, and then like Heyman.
Yeah, and I would only say Bischoff surpassed Crockett because he actually made that company, Jim Crockett Promotions, WCW, called. He actually made that company profitable, whereas the Crockett's and the promoters prior to Bischoff under Ted Turner didn't turn a profit, and Bischoff managed to do it.
Bischoff may have made it profitable, but I feel like the legacy looks better under Crockett than under Bischoff.
And up until today's announcement, I would agree with you, but they are very much attached to what we're going to talk about Saturday.
I know.
So I'm kind of like, I get that's where it all happened for him originally, but
yeah, and
legacy
honestly,
is key. So,
And honestly, we'll get more into it on Saturday, but that's kind of why I don't have a problem with it.
okay.
You know,
See,
it's
I'm
kind
the
of
full
it's
opposite.
kind of
That's
the
why I do.
I was going to say it's kind of the equivalent of Austin having that one last match in Texas
Fair enough.
after
That
19 years of not being able to wrestle. You know, if
very true.
again, we'll get more in depth into it on Saturday, but if Flair is going to truly have one last match, it should be for Crockett Promotions.
Yeah, the fact that it's in Crockett for Crockett in the city where he and Steamboat did their magic, you know. So.
If Tommy or Raven or RVD or the Dudleys are going to have one last match, it needs to be on a card that Paul Lee is producing and booking. It doesn't have to have the letters ECW attached to it, but it's got to be on a card that he's running.
Yeah, and if they could pull it off, it should be the 2000 Arena, just because of where it is. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
If honestly with Flair, if Nash, the fairgrounds are so big, that's where to go. But you know, center stage or wherever, Charlotte for that matter. Anyway, let's make sure I didn't miss anybody's question in my bullshit earlier. And again, I do apologize. I'm very touchy about the Kings and touchy today in general.
It looks like we got through everybody. I think Dwayne had talked about the Flair thing, which we're going to get in depth to. My dad's question about the Game 7s is kind of what spawned that whole diatribe. We got to Big G.
We're good. All right, cool. So, for those of you that missed the show prior to us here on the Casa D-18 Studios, JJ, talk about what you're going through this week on Renegade's reviews.
All right. So as we wrap things up here to get out of here, as we're already 10 minutes into Raw.
I'm not worried about Raw today.
And you're using the botched graphic.
Crap! I did. Sorry. Hang on. Go ahead.
This week is the final full week, even though I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I call it the final full week of my salute to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as we've been celebrating his 50th birthday over on the Casa D-18 Studios channel here. We had wait, that's next week even. That's not this week.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're doing next week's show. Hang on, I got it.
That was a way wrong graphic.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I'm
working on it. Yeah, rewind. That's it.
So
okay.
Today,
I think.
So this week over on the Casa D-18 Studios channel, we have Snitch, Pain and Gain, and San Andreas that we're doing as we continue our salute to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as we celebrate his 50th birthday. Now that I got that in there, okay.
Right.
Your whole graphic threw me off, Meacham. This has been a hell
Lord,
of a
I apologize for that.
This has been a hell of a show, but in any event,
it really has been. Good lordy.
So we've got that stuff coming tomorrow. Let's just not worry about the graphic. Let's just get to the tomorrow one. Tomorrow, we have a special feature that'll be on the Casa D-18 Studios channel.
Oh, that. Okay, yeah. Okay. I do have that.
A Casa D-18 Studios exclusive. I kind of briefly talked about it earlier. Myself, my daughter, and my girlfriend all went to the Sugarmint Gallery this past weekend. And they were screening a Goofy movie. In attendance, they had Bill Farmer, who has been the voice of Goofy since 1987. Okay, so pretty much our entire lives, this man has been the voice of Goofy. In addition to Goofy, he's the voice of Pluto. He's the voice of Horace Horsecollar. In the 90s version of Space Jam, he was Yosemite Sam, Sylvester, and Foghorn Leghorn. But he was there doing a brief panel. They had a guy there interviewing him. I filmed a good majority of it, and it'll go live tomorrow on the Casa D-18 Studios channel, beginning at 6 o'clock a.m. Pacific. That's 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Wanted to give it plenty of time to just throw it out there since I don't usually have content.
Right.
I wanted you guys to have all day to be able to watch it and view it and listen to it. But it's almost a 30-minute conversation, and I missed probably about a good 10 minutes before I started rolling. But a nice
Guys,
sit-down
I've
interview.
seen the rough cut. Good stuff. So
But
definitely.
a nice little, like I said, 30-minute interview with Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy. So make sure you guys check that out. Scott, thank you for another super chat,
Thank
man.
you for sticking with us. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Scott's the man. I love Scott. All right. So now that I've done watched every single thing about this show today.
Yeah. So there's that on Tuesday. And then, yes.
There it is.
Like I said, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today, we had Snitch. Wednesday, Pain and Gain. Friday, San Andreas. And Scott has actually already commented on the Pain and Gain one, how much he's looking forward to seeing cover that. So
I saw that.
There's all of that. This Saturday, a special edition of, no, not that. This Saturday, a special edition of Renegades Reviews over on the channel. It'll be my review of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I don't have that graphic. You didn't send me that one.
That'll be at its normal time, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern.
Yes.
And then go ahead and throw that one back up. Open mic night, special date and time, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern time. And that's in addition to all of the stuff that Jeff has for us, like Talk Wrestling, immediately following NXT, The Greg Cherry Show, which will be at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern, after Pain and Gain is aired. Get about 30 minutes in between to go to the bathroom, get you a little snack, get your dinner ready, depending which coast you're on.
Because then we want to dynamite after us, after Greg Cherry Show. So if you want to get a snack or take a bathroom break, you can do it after Renegades. You're in deep shit, literally in some cases. And then Thursday is just the day where Jeff's just gonna completely pass out and die because not one.
You're back on the Jack of all trades, huh?
I've been tagged in. God help me. But I do have the board markers actually ready this time. I'm ready to go. God help me. And then I go right from that, and that's live for the record, to this, which is live for the record. I had to move her back a half hour because I've been asked to also be on this 8 o'clock Eastern Pacific.
Jeff is going to be a busy man on Thursday.
I am on every channel I'm usually featured on once or twice a week. All 3 channels on the same day.
Except the Casa channel. Unless the Jenny interview is airing over there as well, because Greg Cherry Show, or no, Jack of all trades is Greg Cherry.
Jack of all trades will not be, and nor will ODQ. I had the Jenny interview set up for my YouTube and the socials, but I'll gladly throw you on there if you want to. That's cool with me.
We can talk about it later.
Either way, I'm on too many damn shows in a short amount of time. So Friday I'm sleeping before we take Dylan up to y'all up there.
And then on Sunday will be the second episode of my brand new endeavor, The War Zone, the weekly acquisition report, premiered yesterday. Basically, I just took a segment that used to be in Renegade Recap that we did, where I would show off all the new stuff that I had acquired. And I decided I would put it into its own little show. That way, when we do Renegade Recap at the end of the month, this month's time and date to be determined still, we don't have that segment weighing it down. And we can just focus on the stuff that we covered, what's coming, and answering fan questions.
I dig it.
So we took that whole segment and made its own little show. So episode 1 has already gotten over 20 views. Looks like it's a pretty positive response for that. That's about what I've been averaging since I came back, is 20 views. We need to get it a little bit more, so please make sure you like and share all of my videos so we can help boost that stuff up in the
Turn
YouTube
that bell on
algorithms.
notifications, folks. That's it. Turn that bell on
algorithms.
notifications, folks. That's it. Turn that bell on, kids.
But yeah, so episode 2 of that will be on Sunday as well.
Good stuff. And then, of course, next week we've got, if I can actually,
Yeah,
that's your last week of the full week.
There we go. Then the following
go.
Monday will be Central Intelligence, which will be immediately followed by the top 10 The Rock matches.
Which I didn't
And
have
then
ready,
we've
of course,
also
'cause
got Rampage and Skyscraper next week as well.
So the bottom line is we be busy up in here, y'all.
Yes.
And don't think for 1 minute that we're going to hit the brakes come June 1st. Oh no, I literally have 4 days off in June.
And then June 1st will be the beginning of my new month, which I'm sure you don't have the trailer loaded for it because you've botched just about everything else.
No, hey, hold on, man. You told me not to load that until Wednesday. Don't you dare give me shit about
That's true. That's true. That's true. I told you could show it on May 18th. That's true.
It's in there if you
I forgot. I forgot that I told you that. You're absolutely right. So
if you're gonna get cute with me, damn it, hang on, I'll load up.
No, we don't need to start another one of those. I legitimately forgot I had told you that, so forgive me. But yeah, so June 1st will begin the brand new month where I'm going to be doing movies with only one sequel. We've got stuff like Young Guns and Young Guns 2. We've got Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. We're going to kick the month off with Journey to the Center of the Earth and Journey to the Mysterious Island. So that week will be bookended by Dwayne Johnson movies with a Brendan Fraser flick in the middle.
It's a Fraser sandwich.
So, and I did that on purpose, coming out of Dwayne month. I thought it would be fun to have something for him in there, but he wasn't in the first one. He was only in the sequel. So, we had already done the Jumanji 2 as part of the Jumanji trilogy. Fast and the Furious, that's a whole other can of worms. There's like 25 of those movies, at this point.
And there's not just one sequel.
With more coming out.
Right.
With more coming out. G.I. Joe, he's in the second one, not the first one. So either way I went, whether I went Journey or G.I. Joe, he was going to be in the second, not the first. And there was going to be that little break. Yes. So I figured, let's just do the Journey ones because I adore Journey 2.
It's a cute movie.
Watching Journey to the Center of the Earth, it was only the second, maybe the third time I've seen the original with Brendan Fraser because I saw the sequel first. And I've seen the sequel multiple times because of how much I love Dwayne and that movie. I only seen the original once, maybe 2 other times before watching it to review it. So it was kind of fun getting to rewatch that one.
Okay, I know I said Fraser sandwich and didn't mention it. Okay, it's not a meat sandwich. It's not Encino Man, y'all. Knock it off. Shame on you. Y'all suck. Damn people watching at home. Anyway, y'all nasty. Y'all nasty.
So
all right.
We
anyway,
got
so
much stuff
he has a great
coming.
week. Yeah, got good stuff coming there. And like I said, he's got a full month of June, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've got, like I said, 4 legitimate days off, period, in 30 days. And then, July comes on top of the watch-alongs, anniversary coming, another anniversary coming in October. Again, this year is so big for us here at the channel. It's big for, CC there's 3 of them apparently. So are they in the same
I know there's a Snake Eyes movie, but I thought that was like a spin-off, not part of the same, kind of like how there's the Fast and the Furious and then there's Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen that one yet, so I don't know. I've just seen the other 2.
Yes. In any event, we busy, and we're going to keep being busy because we want you to have. Well, there you go. So either way, it's not in the direct. I guess the ones with The Rock. So unless he's in it, which I don't know. In any event, again, we apologize, or I apologize for this show going off the rails today. That was 100% my fault, and my advice to everybody out there is make sure if you are under the weather before you take the air, make sure you have the proper ventilation in the room so you don't get all hot and bothered, because that's what happens.
Yes.
Thank you all. Appreciate it very much. Raw's 20 minutes in. If you want to watch it later, cool on you. If you want to be like JJ and be intelligent, watch Hulu tomorrow. You'll thank us later. Either
Need to
way,
watch last week's SmackDown. It's probably what I'm going to do tonight.
it's just me not throwing a stone through a glass house and not watching stuff on time. Anyway, he is the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. I am West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham. We are the dads, not always on wrestling. And God help us, we will see you all next time.